26/2013. I'm going to talk about George Jones. Passed away today or last night, early morning, something. I was looking up one of his songs. I know he's married to Tammy Wynette, and they were married like in the late 60s to mid 75, something like that. And the song I'm going to play at the end is Stop Loving Her Today. I really like that one. That one's got a nice ringtone to it. Not very much big country fan. I did see in concert, Gordon and I went to like State Fair. They had Willie Nelson and Reverend Jennings, and that's about as country as I can get. The good old outlaws. But just want to pay tribute to him. Got a interview set up for next week. The notification today for for the open supervisor position. So it's with two managers. Of course, the manager it was my supervisor. He's not a manager. So that's a good thing. He knows me, so he's shouldn't be too partial. The other manager that's going to be there in the interview is one from the southeast, and he was in the focus group that I was in, this realignment focus group that I was in for about 6 weeks. So he got to know me a little bit through that. So that again is, I think for both of them there should be interesting. I should feel a little bit more comfortable. Because I was feeling pretty positive up until I heard the interview, and then I started getting nervous. So, but we want to put it on terms that, and I'm really excited about it. I know I can do the job. There's going to be a lot of, I think when I said we had a meeting on Wednesday, a tech ops meeting, and they said at that time that there was like 61 applicants for that position, and then they re-advertised it then, and then they'd send out email notification about it. So there should be more people applying. But I had a lunch that day from that realignment focus group. And one of the guys there, it's from the Southwest, I asked him a couple of questions, and how the Southwest is, because that's where three of the positions are open in that area. And he said he's applied for it. He said this is like his third time. He said usually they give you like a phone interview, and then you progress to the physical sit-down interview, and then if you make it past that one, then there's the third interview you can take in. So he says, the main thing is to get your name in there, because they're gonna wonder who is this Ray Alexander that he put it. And the next time around, he says like, yeah, I think I know you. And the third time, he's like, yeah, Ray, Ray. So he's given me an indication that it's not like a surefire thing that you can just go in and walk into the position. Like I said, they used to have where you could step up into a lead technician position, which I always thought was good, because that was kind of an internship for a supervisor, because you had a lot of supervisor duties and responsibilities. But they took that away and put all that back on responsibility of the supervisor. The supervisor should be the one that's beating us out in the field. Like our supervisor comes out, he does like a tool inventory once a quarter, does like a van inspection once a month, and comes out and just does a kind of a site survey, kind of follows around, make sure you're meeting and greeting all the safety safety rules and regulations that's handed down. We're kind of, since we're a utility, we're kind of governed by the big boys. So there's some national people that set the standards of what, as a utility, that we should follow. And as a company, and they want us to be safe out there. Like I showed you before, I got a little safety medallion, so that puts me in good standing, being safe-minded and safe-oriented. But what he was saying, this other tech I talked to, is that they field a lot of questions to you about scenarios. What would you do in this situation? What would you have? Because you're going to be dealing. And I told him, I said, I'm not too worried about. See, there's like a pro, advantage, and disadvantage. So the advantage of getting the job in the Southwest is that it's a total new op center. No one knows me. Because where I'm at now, in the Northeast, everybody knows me as Ray, the other technician. Where there, I'd be stepping in as just a supervisor, and you'd have to look at me. They wouldn't be looking at me as another technician, as well as looking at me as introduce me and get to know me as a supervisor. I think that would be an advantage. I told him that the disadvantage is that it's a total different area. When the cities was split up, there was Comcast on one side and Time Warner cable on the other, and they had most of Minneapolis, South Minneapolis footprint, Bloomington, the big area. It's a big populated area. That's why they're hiring down that way, and all the new hire. I think we got a class of like eight guys coming in. They're going to be the first wave, and all 8 of them is going to the southwest, because that's where they're needed. It's just that's the largest population area in the metro area is southwest there in Bloomington, with the Mall of America and the Edina and Eden Prairie and the Apple Valley. So there's some really populated Burnsville, one of the populated areas in that quadrant. But I said what I thought would be a disadvantage is that I'm not familiar not only with the area, but I'm familiar with the equipment. Equipment is altogether different. They have a different type of equipment than they do in the other 3 areas in the cities. And he said, you shouldn't. He said, don't. He said, how much, a year or 2 from now, he said, how many supervisors do you know actually know the equipment and stuff out in the field? And I said, that's true, because when you look at like my supervisor just went into management, became manager. He had been out of the field for I'm going to say 7 or 8 years. That you start losing, and there's some other supervisors there I remember that didn't know like what was going on, because we get a lot of just in the 5 years I've been here, the introduction of new equipment. When they went from the phone system, we used to have the outside phone equipment that connected to the cable, and it just transferred into a phone system, and then was piped inside. Where now everything it's an internal box, which makes more sense because it's not sitting outside in the elements. So just the transformation of the telephony as it's called, telephony system, has changed so much just in the last 5 years. So, and with that, and with the tech tools, the equipment, we had new meters, and they're not familiar with. So it's like he said, don't worry so much about that, because that's not going to be an issue. I said, your thing is going to be supervising and managing a bunch of guys that's supposed to be out there doing what you're doing now. So I with that, it made a lot of sense. He said, some of the questions they're going to throw at you is, it's different scenarios. He said, like, even if you don't know the answer, he said, be upfront and honest, but then try to put it in something that you might be familiar with, that you might have experienced. Anytime that you bring something in from previous experience and put yourself in that scenario and just answer to the best of your ability. And luckily that when I was with Trading Times for that 17 years, that last 5 years with Auto Mart, all the deals, that I had to work my way up into manager position, where I did have to hire and fire and do local payroll, office duties, as well as in the field inspections and just kind of monitoring routes and drivers. So I think that bringing that to the table is a big plus for me, because it shows that I was in that type of position and handled it quite well. I really like that. It's just unfortunately that the paper industry fell out. The internet kind of took over, so there was no more that you had to pay to advertise something, because there's Craigslist now, and one every little city has their own little website that they can post little things. If you want to pull up Anoka, Minnesota, they have just a little almost kind of like a little gazette, Anoka Gazette, and they let you post stuff on there, as well as with companies have their own little postings. So the internet just totally wiped out all that having to advertise, like in the newspaper and stuff anymore. You just don't do that. So that whole paper industry just kind of, the bottom fell out, and then of course the gas prices went crazy. I mean, when we was delivering, it was it was like close to $100 gallon. I remember when Gordon would get so upset that when we lived up north, it was a little bit more expensive there. So when it tipped to $1.25, it was just and the miles was putting on the expense. It got pretty expensive to be able to use your own vehicle and to use your own gas. I remember many times figuring that out, and it was like for me, it was like pain to have that job, because you had to put out so much up front in order to get the job done. Then you got compensated for the job, but you still had to take that percentage. I think out of the three checks that I got from Trader Publishing, 3 different publications that I delivered, that only one of them kind of paid for the gas and expense, and the other 2 was I guess really the profit from that. So again, gas got way out of whack. Like now it's $3.50. There's no way that you could operate in that manner. I'm very, very lucky and fortunate that the company provides the work truck, the vehicle. It's just unbelievable asset of not being able to have to use my vehicle just even to drive to work. When I didn't add it all up, but it was close to, I'm gonna say $35 a week in fuel in the 4 days that I'd work. I'd have to drive into the warehouse and drive home, if not a little bit more. If you add that up, it's $140 dollars a month, coming out that you're out. So now that I'm got the van back and being able to start from home here. Like even today, I worked in Anoka here, Coon Rapids, Anoka, and just 10, 15 miles from home is nice. So even if I don't, and we got to think, we got to be realistic on this. I know Gordon says you probably going to get it the first time around, so don't build yourself up too much, which I tend to do. I can think high. So if it comes down low, actually you should think low. So if you overshoot it, then it's a better deal. But even if I don't get the supervisor position, so I really did plan in the next 3 to 5 years to start shooting for the supervisor position. So, and then I know I will get it. I mean, there's no question in my mind, because I am management material. I've been told that. I was thinking about that this week. Throughout my working career, every job, when I go all the way back to Kentucky Fried Chicken, my first job that I had, I got my first paid vacation. I was at Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I was a fry cook. But I came in, I opened it up. I was always there. I was dependable. When we needed the extra work, they'd call me up. I'd come right in. I'd close, so I'd open, I could close. They were teaching me all the things I need to know out front, how to run a till and how to service the customer and service the window. And so I knew everything. So even that manager at that time says, we would really like to train you to be, a manager if you want to do that. And I really liked my time off. So it's like, I'm not ready to have that responsibility. But even at that time, 18, 19 years old, I was looked at for management material. I know when I started PDC, when I did the phone book thing, I got to know that manager quite well, and went out and had lunch with him. And he invited me a couple of times to come in. We'd like to have him to come in and work inside here. And that just wasn't me. I liked the independency and it was to take the job and go do it and complete it. I could do that and have my time off. I was working on cars, so that was, I could do the delivery during the day and then work on the cars at night. Same as with the Trader Publishing. He got me after a number of years, and like I said, I was there for 17 years. He asked me a number of times to come in and supervise the routing on the trading times, and I turned him down several times. It just wasn't what I was wanting to do. Toward the end there, I was considering it, because I was getting to the point that if you do something for a long period of time, it's like time to maybe think about settling in for an office job. But it's just not me. I mean, even now, what I do is I'm out on my own, and every day, I mean, I really like this job. I constantly singing away, driving down the road. I really just love my job. So if I don't get, and I said like this position, I said there's been managers saying that you're supervisor material. So I did put that in my cover letter that I've been offered and been supported in this movement toward a supervisor position. So I think I really feel positive about it. So, but it's gonna think like it's your first time around, I'm not going to pick you up. But I mean, there's 4 positions open, so it's like if you're not the first pick, you're not the second pick, you're not the third pick, you might be the 4th pick. So you have to think that not everybody's shooting for just the one job. So I got like out of the even if there's another 20 people, chime in. That's a 1 in 20 chance of getting the position. That's pretty good. The op center I'm at the 60 plus, so I'm saying one in 20 chance. But again, I don't have the seniority. There's some of the experience that I don't have as far as with the company internally. But I'll gather that over the next few years, and there's some courses I can take in management, And there's some programs that my one manager gave me that you need to get into this one because this is good. It primes people toward supervisor management positions. So there's different things. Like tomorrow is Comcast Cares Day, so to get my face out there in that situation. Tross is gonna go with me again, and I think I'll post some pictures of last year, probably tomorrow on my Facebook page, and then once the new ones come out, which will be in a week or so, they'll post them somewhere on Facebook. They get their own little Comcast site there, and so I'm excited about that tomorrow. But I'll talk about that tomorrow. But Supervisor, 20 minutes. I got to stop. Hold on, way too long. But that's my overview. That I really feel positive about this. And like I said, George Jones. I think there was a story that he was a big drinker, and he had his license revoked or something, and he was so determined to get to town and buy a bottle of booze that he rode the lawn tractor to town. I think that was one of the stories that went around for a bit, and he got in trouble because they pulled him home and said, "You can't be driving a lawn tractor down the road. What's wrong with you? Got to have my beer, damn it." That was more than beer. The liquor's fine. Give me some more. Alright, where are you? See, I talked so long the computer went to sleep. 20, 12. Oh, no, past that. Here we go. Stop, listen. It's a good song. Classic. 1980. Hold on. In the day. There we go. April 26, 2013. This is for you, George.